week 8.
I'm so glad you're here.
They host the Washington Redskins. And this, Judd, it looked now, as we were previewing the schedule on Tuesday, I said the Redskins are just an awful football team. But this particular game presents 2 challenges for the Minnesota Vikings. 1, short week, Thursday night. That's a challenge for any football team.
Yep.
And 2, Kirk Cousins sucks on nationally televised football games.
Yep.
Just terrible when he's on the national stage.
Yep.
Do those things override a bad Redskins team that you should beat on your home field and should beat handily on your home field? That's how bad I think the Washington Redskins are.
I
like the pause.
Oh, this is great. I love this game. This game, I am so excited. This game is what I would call the clear-cut linchpin game of the 2019 Viking schedule.
Linchpin game.
This is the most important game because there are so many storylines and there are so many directions that this game could take you. This should be Cousins against his old team, which is why the game's in prime time, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Case Keenum should be starting at quarterback for Washington. And of course, the last time these two teams met in 2017, the quarterbacks were reversed. Cousins started for the Redskins, who lost that game. Keenum started for the Vikings, who won. This is Adrian Peterson returning to U.S. Bank Stadium again, playing probably an important role against his old club.
Mm-hmm.
And the stat that you referred to is the fact that Kirk Cousins is 5-13 in primetime games. So this is not a small sample size. 18 games, 5-13. This is the most important game that I can find. And until Kirk Cousins proves me wrong, I cannot, in good conscience, predict that the Vikings win this game. I predict that the Redskins upset in a major way the Vikings, because this is the exact type of game that Cousins puts both hands around his neck and chokes.
So you have it as a loss for the Vikings.
I do.
I agree with everything that you just said.
And I don't know why I'm right, though. That's the thing about this. I guess my point is this.
Prove it.
Prove me wrong.
Right. I agree with everything that you just said, and yet I'm still taking the Vikings because I think the Redskins are that bad.
And if you're right...
Would you say he was 5-13
5-13 in primetime games?
He moves to 6-13.
Okay. And if you're right, to me, the dynamics change here, because it's not only what would be, in a span of some very tough games, an important win, but it also changes, I think, how some of Cousins' teammates feel about him. Because if Cousins goes up against his former team at home and doesn't play extremely well, the locker room is going to finally say, dude, you're making $84 million over 3 years for this again?
But I mean, he could play terrible and they still win. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
is that
but
this Redskins team is bad enough that Kirk Cousins could have a bad game. Maybe not a terrible game, but he could have a bad game and they still win.
I have a feeling that this game largely comes down to Cousins in some way, shape, or form. And if he can win this game and the Vikings win, the attitude towards him, I think, in the locker room is different. But if he, again, fails in prime time, especially against his former team, and to what you just said, which is extremely important, a bad team, that's going to be a major hit. But prove me wrong.
So you have it as a loss.
I have it as a loss.
I have it as a win. This is the first time we've disagreed.